I can remember back when I was still in high school. I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And one day, on a motorcycle ride, my father asked me that. He asked me, "What are you going to do when you get out of high school? What is it that you want to do?" I looked at him and I said, "I want to be like you. I want to join the military and do the things that you did." He looked back at me and says, "Are you sure you want to do that? You see the stress that I go through every day, and you see how upset I get from time to time. Is that what you want?" I looked up at him and I said, "Yeah, that's what I want." At that moment, I saw a smile come across his face and a little twinkle in his eye, and I could see that he was kind of proud that I was going to follow in his footsteps and do the things that he has done. Um, I guess it was inundated in me from the beginning. Since the time I was born, my dad was already in the military when I was born. We started off in Florida. He was stationed at MacDill Air Force Base, and I remember from the time I was able to walk, 2, 3 years old, he would we'd go to air shows all the time. He would take me out to the airplanes. He would show me around, and it kind of, I think at that time it got in my mind that hey, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a mechanic someday when I grow up. Uh, so being in Florida, that was a great assignment too. I was able to literally go down the street or go down the sidewalk, cross the street, and there's the beach. So I grew up not more than 500 yards from the beach. So what more could a kid ask for growing up? That was awesome. Um, of course, being in the military, we did move around. So we were only in Florida for about 6 years, and then we were transferred over to England to RAF Alconbury. Again, I was older at this time. He was able to take me out on the planes more, and I was able to sit in the cockpit of the airplane, crawl around the intakes and exhausts, and all that kind of fun stuff. And again, I think he knew what he was doing. He was getting me wanting to be around airplanes, and I think it was engraved in me at a young age that that's what's going to happen with my life. Um, we were in England for 6 years, and then after that we moved to Arizona. While in Arizona, I consider this the biggest bonding time me and my father had. He had a BMW motorcycle, and he bought me a Kawasaki Ninja motorcycle. And we would go on the weekends. Or when I was out of school, we would go on long rides to like Flagstaff, Prescott, Grand Canyon, San Diego, and it was that during these rides, me and my dad really bonded. I mean, we had the man-to-man talks. We just did everything together, and it was awesome. If I could build a time machine and go back in time, that would be the period I would go back to. That is the most rewarding time of my life as far as relationship wise with my father. Um, Again, we moved from Arizona. We moved to Wichita Falls, Texas, Shepherd Air Force Base. My dad was a crew chief instructor, F-16 crew chief instructor, and it was at Wichita Falls in Texas when I actually joined the military, when I actually went down to basic. And I remember as the bus was pulling away, I looked back at my father, and the look in his eyes gave me a reassurance that you're gonna be okay, you're gonna make it. And I took that with me as I went to basic. Um, while in basic training, my father would send me letters every week, pretty much, just let me know how my mom was doing, my sister was doing, how the dogs are doing, all the little stuff from home that you miss while you're in basic. And he would ask me how I'm doing, and of course I would never tell him I was doing bad because for one, he'd already been there. He knows what goes on in basic. He knows how it is. And two, I didn't want him to worry about me. When I got to Shepherd, that was my follow-on training. After I got out of basic training, I went to Shepherd Air Force Base to become a C-141 crew chief. So picture this: I'm going to be a crew chief on heavies. My father's a crew chief instructor on fighters. My instructor and my father were actually friends. So my instructor would give me stuff all the time, saying, "Hey, if you don't get this done, I'm going to tell your father. What do you think your father's going to say about that?" So in a way, my father was right there with me the entire time through tech school too, which was very reassuring. I knew I had to do it right because my father was going to find out. After tech school, I moved on to Travis Air Force Base, California, where I'm still at now, and I kind of grew distance from my father. Didn't want to, but kind of grew distance from him. And throughout the years, though, he's always been there to guide me and assist me along the way. If ever I have any questions about work or anything military wise, I can call my dad up because he's been there. I mean, he retired as a master sergeant. I'm a master sergeant now, and I gotta thank him for everything he's done to get me to where I'm at now. I think a lot of it has to do with him. He has pushed me, prodded me, guided me, and moved me the right direction to get to where I'm at now. Um, Several years ago, he was diagnosed with a tumor. He had a tumor in his pituitary gland, and they had to remove the gland. And so now he's on like a dozen different medications to balance his chemicals in his body. And it's I found this out when I was deployed to Kuwait back in 2005, which was very, very stressful for me because here's the guy that kind of, is my lifeline, and he's not doing too well. So, so now I look back and I think his time here is not going to be that much longer, and I just want to thank him for everything he's done for me. He has molded me into what I am today, and I just hope that he's as proud of me as I am of him.